was 19 when I met Professor Landon at the University of Chicago. He taught art history like it was a religion. Every lecture felt like gospel, and he had this way of looking at a painting that made it feel like it was breathing. Back then, I was quiet, like really quiet. I wore oversized hoodies, always sat in the back, and never raised my hand. I wasn't trying to hide. I was just plain, a blur in the room. My innocence wasn't some storybook virtue. It was just a life untouched by anything real. That changed the day Landon had a stroke. It happened during lecture. One minute he was pacing the room, holding up a slide of Botticelli's The Birth of Venus, and the next, he just crumpled. I remember the sound his pointer made, hitting the floor before his body even landed. It was hollow. Like the room gasped, he survived. But the man who came back wasn't the same. His speech was slow, his right hand trembled, and his eyes, they were always searching, as if he'd forgotten the very thing he used to live for. And yet, he returned to class. Only now, instead of lecturing, he gave us blank canvases. No prompts, no explanations. He'd just wheel himself in, set down a painting from the Renaissance and say, "Feel something," then paint it. The class hated it, but I didn't. For the first time, I felt like someone had given me permission to say something. Without needing to speak, I started showing up early, staying late. Sometimes he'd just watch me paint. Other times, he'd sketch beside me with his shaking hand. One afternoon, I asked him why he didn't just retire. He looked at me, smiled crookedly, and said, "Because the stroke took my words, but not my story. And I think you're part of it now." I didn't know what he meant then, but I do now, because something strange started to happen. The more I painted, the more I remembered. Memories I didn't even know I had, of being 8 years old, watching my parents fight in silence, of the way my mom used to hum when she felt like crying, of my own voice, tiny and buried. My innocence wasn't purity, it was repression. And his brokenness? It cracked something open in me. By the end of the semester, he held an exhibit with just my work, called it Innocence Reframed. He told the faculty I was his final masterpiece. A few months later, he passed away. He left me a letter. Inside was a single sentence. "You thought you were quiet because you had nothing to say, but you were quiet because the world never asked you." He asked. And because of that, I found my voice in color. So yeah, my professor's stroke changed my life. He turned my silence into canvas and my innocence into art.